Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating and air, restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Good evening. It's Wednesday, July 27th. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi, and we begin tonight with breaking news. Firefighters have stopped the spread of a fast-moving brush fire east of Ramona. It started just before 12:30 this afternoon near Kastner Road and State Route 78 in the Witch Creek area. Deputies advised people living on or near Rancho Belena Road to evacuate and set up a temporary shelter at Olive Pierce Middle School. And tonight, the Sheriff's Department said evacuees can return home, but there's still an evacuation warning in place, meaning that people in those areas should be prepared to leave quickly if advised to do so. And the fire quickly grew to 180 acres and is now 20% contained. Crews are attacking the flames on the ground and from above with air tankers and water-dropping helicopters. At this time, no structural damage or injuries have been reported. Firefighters will be working through the night. The cause is still under investigation. A meeting is getting underway about the future of Friendship Park along the international border. Advocates for the park want answers about plans for 30-foot walls along the border. KPBS reporter Tanya Thorne has more on the upcoming changes.
For years, Friendship Park was a place where families could be reunited with loved ones separated by the border. But those reunions haven't happened in over 2 years and could go even longer due to border wall construction.
We have a meeting tonight in which we'll be asking for a pause on all construction until a meaningful process of consultation with community stakeholders can be undertaken. This is the kind of consultation that was supposed to happen, by the way, during this recent freeze on construction projects.
That meeting is with the U.S. Border Patrol. John Fanisil with Friends of Friendship Park says the Biden administration froze all border construction projects when taking office. But in May, authorization moved forward on several border projects, including replacing the border barrier in Friendship Park. The Friends of Friendship Park want the Border Patrol to consult with local stakeholders before any construction moves forward.
So that's what it looks like now. Now, they say they're going to put a gate in this exterior wall, but imagine walking across that mesa top with this instead of that. That's what they told us on June 17th. Both would be 30-foot, the same 30-foot walls. Those are the walls that are already established to the east of the park.
Local lawmakers are also chiming in. Congressman Juan Vargas led a letter to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas urging a halt to all border remediation projects at Friendship Park and got support from 15 fellow representatives, including Scott Peters.
Any construction would change what Friendship Park is all about. I mean, this is a place where people who are in America can go see their families in Mexico, have a conversation, maybe worship together in a service. We don't want the construction to do anything that would permanently prevent that from happening.
Fanisil says it's unclear how the new walls will include access for families separated by the border to reunite at the park. But in a statement, Customs and Border Protection says there will be a pedestrian gate, and that the agency will identify opportunities to provide the public with access once it is operationally safe to do so. CBP also says it recognizes the value of having a safe meeting place for families on both sides of the border. Construction is expected to begin in September. Tanya Thorne, KPBS News.
A major project on the Chula Vista Bayfront broke ground today. KPBS reporter Jacob Ayer says it's expected to bring jobs and tourism into San Diego's South Bay.
The Gaylord Pacific Resort and Convention Center is the cornerstone project of the 535-acre Chula Vista Bayfront. The project is expected to have a large economic impact on the South Bay and San Diego region, with hopes of attracting visitors from throughout California and beyond, says Port of San Diego Commissioner Ann Moore.
Once it's done, it's supposed to create at least 4,000 permanent jobs, and it's going to put about $1 billion of money into the regional economy.
The groundbreaking for the 1,600-room hotel and convention center marks the transition to the construction phase of the largest public-private partnership ever undertaken by the port. Chula Vista Mayor Mary Casillas Salas joined other local leaders and community supporters to celebrate the occasion.
There were days where we thought it wouldn't get done, but we worked it out and it got it. Here we are today at this groundbreaking. 3 years from now, we'll be cutting the ribbon on the completed hotel.
Decades in the making, the event marks the start of a development phase totaling $1.35 billion of investment.
It's also really important because it provides public access to everybody in the community. So pretty soon we're going to have a brand new park here. We're going to have a place where people can gather. We're going to have a place for people to come down and to be able to enjoy the waterfront. And that means a lot. That's one of our responsibilities as a port.
The first phase of construction will include the resort hotel and convention center, a new park and roads, a parking structure, and supporting public infrastructure. Jacob Ayer, KPBS News.
The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates for a fourth time to fend off signs of a recession. This comes as inflation is at a 40-year high, and the move is meant to curb rising prices. More now from reporter Isabel Rosales.
And it's a struggle. It is a real struggle.
Prices are soaring. Many families are having a hard time paying their credit card bills. The stock market has tanked this year. Home sales have started to slip, and consumer confidence is low. For many Americans, it already feels like a recession.
Especially when I look at the price, I'm like, this is unbelievable. It's ridiculous, but what can you do?
The Federal Reserve hiking the interest rate by 0.75%. For Americans, it means the cost of borrowing has gotten even more expensive.
Looking forward, the risk of recession is unfortunately high.
The R word, a sticky and fiercely debated topic. Industry experts and politicians disputing whether we're already in or heading into a recession.
It's basically, the best described as it's a very weird economy. And I'm not sure we've really experienced anything quite like this, where you have an inflationary environment with a really strong labor market.
But most Americans already believe they're in a recession.
You're talking about people that have their own level of recession daily and have had it for years.
Beyond all the growing noise of economic data, perception can quickly turn into reality as consumers tighten their pocketbooks.
Now you look at the prices and you're like, I just won't get it.
Isabel Rosales, KPBS News.
President Joe Biden has ended his COVID isolation. He took 2 tests, both negative. The 79-year-old Biden tested positive last week and had mild symptoms. The president reminded Americans that COVID isn't gone and that serious illness can be avoided with vaccines, booster shots, and treatments. The FDA is clearing the way to distribute and administer hundreds of thousands of additional doses of the monkeypox vaccine. 786,000 more doses will be supplied by a plant in Denmark. That's on top of the more than 310,000 doses already delivered. The Department of Health and Human Services anticipates making about 1.9 million doses available in 2022 and another 2.2 million doses in the first half of 2023. More than 3,500 cases of monkeypox have been diagnosed here in the United States. And monkeypox vaccination clinics set for tomorrow and Friday ran out of appointments just hours after they were announced. iNews Source reporter Danielle Dawson covers the difficulties facing San Diego County, and the virus continues to spread.
On Monday, San Diego County Health and Human Services announced the allocation of 800 doses of the smallpox vaccine, Jynneos, for its second monkeypox vaccination effort since cases were first identified back in June. All appointments were claimed as of Tuesday morning. Though the county prioritized specific risk factors for appointment scheduling, public health experts and advocates are frustrated over the outbreak's connection with sexual and gender identity, since it has a capacity to infect anyone. As Chief of Infectious Diseases at UC San Diego, Dr. David Smith explains, the outbreak has more to do with global waning immunity for smallpox viruses.
I was not vaccinated for smallpox, but people who are older than me were vaccinated, so that a global decrease in that immunity has allowed monkeypox to be spread from person to person.
A county spokesperson said that there are currently no plans to host another vaccination event. For KPBS, I'm iNews Source reporter Danielle Dawson.
iNews Source is an independently funded nonprofit partner of KPBS. Turning a life-changing moment into a learning experience. Today, a San Diego man met the rescuers who helped save his life. KPBS reporter Matt Hoffman has the story.
Medical 477. What city is your emergency?
It's San Diego. Please come. I think my husband's having a heart attack.
It's a phone call no one wants to make, but one that North Park resident Annette Klein knew she had to. Last December, her husband Steve suddenly went into cardiac arrest and stopped breathing.
We were sitting watching TV on the couch, and he just started gasping for air, and he sounded like he was snoring. Honey, honey, honey.
Okay, ma'am, listen to me carefully, okay? I have the help started, and I'm here to help you until we get there.
The 911 dispatcher helped calm Annette's nerves. He told her it was time to start chest compressions, something that Annette had never done before.
We're going to do this pace over and over until the help takes over, unless he wakes up and tells you to stop, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Good. Keep that rate up and keep counting out loud.
Minutes later, San Diego fire rescue crews and Falck paramedics arrived and took Steve to the hospital. He was put into a medically induced coma and woke up a few days later. Today, he and Annette are meeting their rescuers, including the dispatcher, who they credit with helping save Steve's life.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. That's what we're here for.
66-year-old Annette is around 100 pounds, and at one point she had to find the strength to get her husband off of the couch and onto the ground in order to start chest compressions.
You said you have to get him off of the sofa. And it was like any fear that I had, any of that, I don't know if I can do it. It was like, you didn't let me have that.
He's very, very heavy.
Okay, so let's get him flat on his back for me on the ground.
Okay.
Don't worry about hurting him if he's on like the couch or the bed, okay?
Dispatcher Chris Cook took the call that day.
I can't really describe how amazing it is to actually meet somebody where I actually had a role in helping save their life.
Paramedics were eventually able to get a pulse on Steve before leaving the house, but he had effectively died before being revived.
I don't know that there's a medical pathway for me to be alive and talking to you right now.
Today, Steve says he feels great and doesn't have any lasting medical damage.
This is such a treat to be able to be here and to thank all of you guys. And most of all, to thank my wife for saving my life.
Officials say Annette did the right thing. She jumped into action, calling 911, and with the help of some coaching, was able to start chest compressions right away.
That's probably the most critical phase, is making sure that somebody immediately starts chest compressions. Because the downtime, 3 minutes without any chest compressions, without any circulation, that's pretty much detrimental. So she truly saved his life.
Steve and Annette are writing a book about their ordeal titled Then December 4th I Died. Part of it includes a call to action for people to learn how to perform CPR. For more information, check out the City of San Diego's Project Heartbeat initiative. It aims to help teach CPR and raise funds to purchase automatic defibrillators. Matt Hoffman, KPBS News.
Some evacuation orders have been lifted as firefighters slow the spread of a fire near Yosemite National Park. The Oak Fire in Mariposa County has burned more than 29 square miles and is 32% contained. It destroyed 41 homes and other buildings in the Sierra Nevada foothills. Around 3,800 people were allowed to return home, while about 2,200 people are still under evacuation orders.
I want to get my cats and go home.
We're waiting for them to give the okay to go back in there, and they'll tell them what they'll be there.
And the cause of the fire is under investigation.
We have plenty of monsoon moisture out there into the interior, and that's going to bring spotty showers and thunderstorms to some inland areas this weekend. It will not be widespread, but there will be a brief downpour and maybe even some lightning in some of the mountains and even some deserts as well. For the rest of us closer to the coast, that rhythm of morning low clouds and afternoon sunshine continues, and temperatures not going to be moving a whole lot from day to day. So this is a pretty good, robust round of monsoon moisture into the interior of the Southwest. And again, we're just kind of sitting most of this out, but a few of you may be impacted by this at times. And there is that dry thunderstorm fire risk. So it's mainly a good thing that we're seeing the moisture in the southwest, but there is always the risk that a lightning strike could spark a fire. Overnight tonight, temperatures down to 68 in El Cajon, 65 in Chula Vista, 66 into San Diego, and we're still sweating it out a bit in Borrego Springs this time of the year at 80 degrees. The thunderstorm threats mainly off to the east on Thursday, even east of our local mountains and desert locations. Pretty warm, though. It's a classic weather pattern here in late July. 91 in El Cajon, 104 at Borrego Springs. Mount Laguna, a little relief up that way, 78. Campo warm enough at 91. Oceanside looks great at 75 degrees along the coastline. So the drought continues. The thunderstorms stay east for Friday, but then into the weekend, they begin to hedge a little farther west. And you'll notice temperatures generally stay in the mid-70s, maybe even into the upper 70s by Monday. A slight warming trend, just a little bit for the coastal areas, but it won't be a universal warming trend. You can see we're kind of pinned between the low to mid 80s here for the next 5 days for inland areas. Low clouds, afternoon sunshine. We look good. It gets a little more interesting into the mountains here. Here we go from 78 Thursday to mid 70s on Sunday and Monday, but spotty thunderstorms Sunday and Monday will begin to enter the forecast, and in the deserts we might see a stray shower or storm survive off of one of the mountains into the low spots. Around 104 Thursday, but hedging downward back down to around 100, 102 Sunday and Monday. I'm meteorologist Jeff Cornish for KPBS News.
With inflation at a 40-year high, many people are looking to save money, but officials at one U.S. hospital are urging parents not to take a chance with their children's safety. Mandy Gaither explains.
In the car, it's the best way to keep a baby safe, but some parents may unknowingly be putting their children in counterfeit car seats.
These seats are not protecting the kids like they should.
Since January, officials at Orlando Health say they've identified 27 counterfeit car seats and 11 foreign seats discovered as they help parents strap their new baby in before leaving the hospital.
A counterfeit car seat is a car seat that is non-regulated anywhere and is made somewhere and isn't crash tested. But a foreign car seat is a car seat that is crash tested maybe in Europe, but those standards don't meet the U.S. standards.
To make sure your car seat is safe, check the straps and anchoring parts. Officials say knockoffs may not have lower anchor attachments or a chest clip. Look out for paperwork. A car seat manual and registration card are included in all federally compliant car seats in the U.S. And read the labels. A federally compliant seat will have a warning label showing it complies with federal motor vehicle safety standards.
If it does not have any of those labels in English and Spanish, if the labels are in another language, that can be an indication that it is a counterfeit car seat.
Hospital officials say many of these car seats are bought online through third-party vendors, and if the price is too good to be true, it probably is. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
And many times when counterfeit car seats are discovered, parents can't get a hold of the vendors that sold them, and they have no way to get their money back. Hospital officials urge parents in this situation to report them. You can do that at stopfakes.gov. With schools beginning, now is the time to get those supplies. Today in National City, police officers partnered with various organizations and businesses to give away backpacks full of supplies. The goal, to help families out and get to know the students as well.
It's good to see them so happy and joyful when they get it, and it provides an opportunity that's not enforcement related for us to get involved with the community and the children so that they can see us as part of the community and human beings.
Every student at Olivewood and Kimball Elementary Schools got a stuffed backpack today. The school supplies giveaway is an annual event. There is a new home and even more hope for teenagers who find themselves locked up in the county's juvenile detention system thanks to a new transition campus. This summer, young people in custody are learning more than just life's hard lessons. KPBS education reporter MG Perez takes us inside.
I first got locked up when I was 14, and then I was in there on my 15th birthday.
Oceanara Follow is now 18 years old, with a past that includes time in San Diego County's old juvenile hall.
I was hanging out with people that were in here or were out there doing bad stuff, so I had to completely cut everyone off, because if you hang around the barbershop too long, you're going to get a haircut.
Ocean, as she prefers to be called, did not get a haircut. She did get in the middle of gang fights and a life of illegal drugs. But a few stays in the county's custody turned her life around.
So it's like cool to see like my place is like blown up in here, because like I took those. That's rad.
Ocean describes herself as a side hobby photographer and artist. She just graduated from an online education program that will allow her to start classes at Grossmont College in August. Her latest painting shows the mythical Persian huma bird in brilliant pastel colors.
It never touches the ground. It just like soars high in the sky, and it like brings hope to and gifts to people in like despair. So it's supposed to like lift you up and like keep you going, like, and give you hope. So I thought it'd be like perfect for like this type of setting.
Ocean's painting and photographs hang in the lobby of the County Probation Department's brand new multi-million-dollar youth transition campus in Kearney Mesa. The YTC replaces facilities that look more like a prison and have now been demolished, with another temporary residential building under construction now. The open courtyard facility breathes new life into the juvenile correction system, with reminders to focus, excel, and believe in a better future outside these walls.
I saw kids being released, 2 weeks later, rearrested, back in my class.
Alex Long has been a teacher in San Diego's juvenile court schools for 25 years. Most of that time he taught science and math. But 5 years ago, the county dedicated much more money to career and technical education. That's when he started teaching woodshop to 6 students at a time for 2 hours, 5 days a week, building furniture, picture frames, and anything they could dream of to construct from wood, like a gliding chair.
Trial and errored it till we could get it to work. And so as you can see now, you can sit in this chair and it glides back and forth.
The new youth transition campus has a wood shop that is more than twice the size it was in the old building. The students' furniture is sold online, and the money raised is used to buy more supplies and tools for the next group of woodshop students. Offenders become contenders for real-life jobs and much better futures, according to Long, who has a sign hanging on his classroom wall that says simply, "We are the carpenters of our own destiny."
Now, when they're released from here and they've taken my class, they can get an entry-level job that can then actually, I believe, affect their lives for good as they move forward, and they have options.
So our students are, kind of in, underwater, and they're drowning, and they need support.
Ellen De La Cruz is helping teens in trouble through reading at the new YTC. She's been a teacher for county court schools since 1997, shattering stereotypes along the way.
The sunlight coming into their room and illuminating their book so they can read, and that's their favorite activity. They want to learn how to read big words. They want to be able to spell big words.
De La Cruz says 1/3 of the 13 to 20-year-old students she teaches read below a 5th grade level. That's why the new campus has an expanded library with titles that include topics from fantasy to feelings about first loves. There's even a summer reading contest underway right now.
We're paying attention. Sometimes no one's paid attention to how they're doing academically and what their achievement is.
Students on the inside are also studying for associate degrees through a partnership with Cuyamaca College.
They're being kind of elevated and seen as, people capable of doing more than they have in the past, and so they try to live up to those expectations.
For me, it was hard to get a job because I was on probation for a while, but don't let that stop you. Just keep going, get out of the system, get off probation. You can do it.
Ocean Follow has gone from student inside to mentor outside, admiring her painting in the YTC lobby. And how does it feel to see your name on a painting?
Super cool. Super cool. It makes me really happy.
Happiness she hopes to someday turn into a career as a judge in the juvenile justice system. MG Perez, KPBS News.
I'm Judy Woodruff. Tonight on the NewsHour, the Federal Reserve raises interest rates once again to combat rising prices. Will it work? Coming up at 7 after Evening Edition on KPBS.
And here's another look at today's top stories. We're following breaking news out of Ramona, where a fast-moving brush fire has been stopped at 180 acres and is now 20% contained. You can see the burn area from a CAL FIRE helicopter there. It started with afternoon near Kasner Road and State Route 78 in the Witch Creek area. There is an evacuation warning in place for nearby homes, meaning that residents need to be prepared to leave quickly if there is a flare-up. No structural damage or injuries have been reported, and the cause is still under investigation. And a groundbreaking ceremony took place today for Chula Vista Bayfront's Gaylord Pacific Resort and Convention Center. The first phase of construction will include the 1,600-room hotel and convention center, a new park, roads, parking structure, and supporting public infrastructure. The project is expected to be finished in 3 years. Well, it may be time for the Mega Millions lottery to change its name to Mega Billions now that the jackpot has grown to over $1 billion. No tickets were sold matching all 6 numbers in last night's drawing, and there were 8 tickets sold with 5 numbers but missing the mega number, which is worth nearly $3 million. Well, you still have time. The next drawing is Friday night. And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Good night.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating and air, restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit BillHowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marco Shiley, and by the following: by viewers like you. Thank you.